emails or meetings, just the river's sway. Gone fishing, and I'm here to stay.
Welcome back. It's been a while. One thing, we're going fishing. I'm currently standing outside my place, so sorry about the traffic. Just waiting for a mate to come and pick me up. That's the 4th of March, 5:15 in the morning. He say he'll be here in about half an hour. I just thought I'd get my stuff outside, wake up a bit. We've got quite a few bits planned this year. A few mates volunteered to pick me up, which is great of them. So we're going to do a few sessions at Coston Lakes this year. Got quite a few fish, got a lot of 30-pounders in, a few 40s. So hopefully get one of them. Today we're at Shallowbrook Lakes on the carp lake. Been doing a bit of time there last few years. Had quite a few fish out. Had one of the biggest commons in the lake, the big belly common. Was currently the biggest. The biggest fish normally called moly. But when we get there, I'll show you the peg I'm in, the bait I'm using, and the approach that I'm taking. But there's other big plans this year. As you can see, got everything on Ridge Monkey at the minute. Nothing's planned at the moment, but can't fault their stuff. Love it. Sorry, it's just a car coming. Quite noisy along this street. Sorry about that. But like I say, I'll get down to the lake, I'll get back in touch, and we'll go from there, and hopefully we'll be able to put a few fish on the bank. Over here in the swim, up in water by about 2 foot, really boggy. Yeah, I've already seen 2 fish. One just in close tail come out the water. There's a plateau out there as well where one was fizzing up on, and saw a little head pop out earlier. So one rod will be going on there, and there's a little bay down in this corner where fish normally get in as well, so I'll put one in there. But yeah, the bivvy's set up, still got a few bits to put in there. So what I'll do is I'll get the rods set up, I'll get everything in the bivvy, and I'll run through the tactics and the bait and the approach that I'm taking, and hopefully we can get one of these fish put on the bank and show you. Just wanted to run you through one of the rigs that I'm using for my particle rod. Got a 5-inch Spectre fluorocarbon boom, size 6 apex medium curve hook. Got a kicker on there, live system hard hooker with one of the Hellraiser pop-ups on top. Don't normally like using a bait boat, but this session I'm using it. The bait I'm using, I just put a bit of hemp maize in there, a bit of crumbed up live system, a few boilies, live system pellet, and I've got the live system hooker with a Hellraiser pop-up. That's now going out there on the plateau. Hopefully that'll do the trick. There's one rod out on the spot, already a couple of liners on that. The second rig I'm using, 7 inches of the Ridge Monkey Stilt Flex. Got the Ridge Monkey connection sinker, a kicker, size 6 apex medium curve. Again, that's with a live system hard hooker. That's topped off with a new CC Moore Pineapple Ultra pop-up. That'll go in the bay, again with a mix of pellet, boilie, few chops, and I'll stick a handful of particle as well. See if there's a carp swimming around in there. Swim, one rod out, now sorting the other rod and sticking it in the bay. Lovely morning, mist's cleared, temperatures are rising. On a shallow plateau bar about 4 foot, probably about 4.5, 5 foot at the moment with the water up, normally about 3 foot. So I've had a couple of liners like I said on that, and I'll now sneak one down in the bay, nice and quiet, and hopefully something will happen there. Finally we're fishing. I'm using the pod today because how boggy it is. Normally I use my quarter single system, but it's way too wet for that. a left hand rod tucked down in the bay. As I was getting it out, the ducks turned up and decided they want to feed. So they were eating the majority of the bait. So on that rod I just put a handful of particle in the boat, 5 or 6 chopped up live system, 5 or 6 whole boilies, a bit of pellet. Not a lot, just enough for a bite, and just dropped that down in the bay. The hook bait was the live system hard hooker with the Pineapple Ultra pop-up. First time I'm using them, so hopefully I'll do justice. £12 a pop from the carp show. I mean, you pay for what you get, so we'll see how they do for the rest of the year. I'll be putting them through the paces. And we'll see what happens, and hopefully soon we'll get a fish. Haven't seen no more shows. There was one my mate said he saw along the back where the reeds were. About out here. Just pop its back out the water, so we'll see how it goes. If not, I might get a zig out. I've got the new Rich Monkey Ziggo adjustable zig that I want to try. So I'll see if there's any the sun get out, or see if there's any on the surface, and maybe we'll throw a zig at one and see if we can nick one that way. But for the time being, I'm going to persevere. Still early morning, so 8:15 now, and the rods are out, practically up to bite time. See how it goes through the day. This isn't an easy lake. A lot of people come out and struggle. I've done okay. I've had quite a lot of fish out of here, but then I've blanked. So it's just a matter about getting on the spots. My mate James, who's in the peg next door, you see his bivvy from there, he smashed this the summer before last. I think he was top rod on the lake with like 50 odd fish, different fish as well, and he didn't have nowhere near the amount of 30-pounders that were in here. So they'll give us a rough stock of what's in the lake. We've always said between 70 and 80 carp, but I reckon there's probably pushing 100. For the size of the lake, which is probably about 2 acre, you'd think that there'd be more carp that come out, but they're not. They'll come out when they want to come out, and they won't get caught if they don't want to get caught. It's one of these lakes. It's not like any normal ordinary lake where you can just turn up, pile a load of bait and expect to catch. Don't work like that on here. So we'll see what happened, and I'll get back to you if anything happened. Right, while it's quiet, I'm going to take you down to the bay, and we'll see if we can see anything down there. Normally, if we're quiet enough, keep checking the spots through the day, you'll see them moving around in there. Flip the camera around. I'll take you down there, see if we can see anything. Normally bring the boat back down this tree. Don't know what they've done here. They've dug this out, cut the reeds back. I don't think that's a swim. Whether they're going to do it as one later on, I'm not sure, but that's not fishable. So yeah, bring the boat down here, off this tree. Normally, if we're quiet enough, we'll see them. Just the other side of this tree, just here. You'll normally see them bubbling up. James with his rods out on the small point. Normally, if James is in the small point, I'm not allowed in the swim where I'm in. But as we both agreed that he can fish there and I can fish where I am, that's fine. He'll be out on the plateau where I am. He'll have his rod about 2 rods from mine, 2 rod lengths apart. But I get the bay. And I'll always have one in here. A lot of the time that does do a fish. So hopefully that'll pay off, and we'll persevere in the bay till we go Friday. I think this is now Wednesday. And we've both got this area covered now, so nobody else can fish it. I've got my mate Alan there, setting up to the right of us. He's in the swim called Steps, good swim. I'll now go and help him show him where the spots are. Hopefully he'll be able to put 1 or 2 on the bank. I'll go and see them later on. So yeah, and I'll keep you updated if anything happens. Just an evening update, nothing to report yet on the fish front. Just got the rods out. Again, right hand rod on the plateau. Live system hard hooker with a Hellraiser CC Moore pop up. That's again over particle, hemp maize, bit of boilie crumb, life system pellet and food chops. The left rod in the bay I've slightly changed. I've put a 12mm yellow Northern Special pop up on that. Again, life system hard hooker, bit of pellet, bit of boilie crumb, food chops, a pinch of hemp and a pinch of maize on that rod. Don't want to put too much out. Tomorrow we're going to have a change round. If nothing happened in the night, I'm going to swap the rods around. So I'll stick a yellow one out on the plateau and I'll stick a white one in the bay and see what happens. I don't want to keep boring you with these short videos unless there's a fish. So I'll now get some tea on, and if anything happens I'll be back. If not, I'll probably see you tomorrow unless there's another update. Just a morning update, just now awake. Nothing to report through the night, unfortunately. Pretty disappointed, to be fair. I thought I was really going to get something. I stayed up till around about 10:30 just listening to the football. Spoke to my mate for a bit. Had 4 or 5 bleeps on the right hand rod that was out on the plateau. I walked over to my alarm, hoping to see the bobbing against my alarm, but no, nothing. Very quiet. So I've woke up at 6 o'clock, went for a toilet, mist and fog, couldn't see nothing. For some reason I just dozed back off again. I was hoping I'd lay down for another 10 minutes to wake myself up, dozed off, woke up just before 9, so I was pretty annoyed. I hate getting up late when I'm fishing. I'm normally up first thing and see if we can move on to anything or see if there's anything about, but I'm now just having my breakfast, doing my porridge, and then the change of plan was keeping to the bay. I'm going to put the same week's white snowman live system on, and I'm going to fill that out with crumb today, I think. As soon as this sun come up this morning, that was beaming into this shallow area, so that bay would have been the first point of call. The sun would have warmed up, so that'll be hopefully the fish that will move down to this shallow on the bit of sun. So that's the idea. And the right hand rod I'm going to keep on the plateau because fish do come on and off that. I'm going to keep out. I'm going to put a yellow pop up on that today and put a white one in the bay. I'm not going to put so much particle on that today. I'm going to put more crumb out on that as well with a few chops. Probably about a handful of particle, if that. A bit more pellet. And just sit on that and see what happens. If I start seeing them cruising along the surface, I'll probably get a zig out. See if I can get one on that. But I'm really trying, you know. This isn't, like I said yesterday, this isn't an easy lake. That's just one of them. They can switch on or switch off. If they want it, they'll have it. If they don't, they don't. But so much bird life on here at the minute as well. Getting the bait out is a bit of a problem, but you know, that's fishing for you. So what I'll do is I'll get the rods sorted out after I had my breakfast, and I'll try and get out, do a bit of footage of me putting the rods out with the boat. I was saying to my mate this morning as I walked down to the lure, I don't really like using the boat, especially on here, but when you're fishing crumb and particle and you've got to get it out there, and that's one of these waters where you've got to keep things to a minimum, then you can't beat a porridge first thing in the morning. Love them. Every time we come fishing, that'll always fill me up in the morning. Sometimes, what one have we got here? The golden syrup flavour. That'll either be the cinnamon or the golden syrup one. Normally I'll add a bit of banana in it and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm just waiting for the kettle to boil. I've dropped down quite considerably last night, the temperature as well. It's really hot during the day and it's dropping down a lot at night. I didn't have a lot of gas left in my stove, but with them Rich Monkey canister covers, I connected it up to my battery and managed to drain one bottle dry. And we're now on to the next bottle, so I've got to stock up on them as well. But yeah, so the lake's really calm this morning. The wind have actually changed, so it's actually pushing up this end now. It's a slight breeze pushing more. It's weird. It's one of these lakes where, like, through the day you'll see the wind change 2 or 3 times. One that'll be blowing up the other end of the lake, then it'll blow to you, then it'll blow into the corner. I don't quite know the compass points of this lake. I'm gonna have to work it out next time I come down there. We'll work it out later on through the day. But I've got the rods in, they're standing up on the bivvy at the minute. I'm just having my breakfast and I'll sort them out and I'll get back to you. And I stop there where the end bivvy is. Not a very big lake. Got an island there around the back. Tiny. Hi, morning update. Just now lost one. Sorry I didn't do an update last night. I didn't bother. I just left the rods out in the end. And there was nothing ready to report. I didn't bother putting more bait on spots that was unnecessary. And I thought if I leave them out, I presented, the bait is there, if the fish come then they'll have it. A few other people turned up last night and the lake's almost full. There's only two pegs spare now, so I'm assuming that's pushed the fish about more. A lot of them yesterday in that heat was tucked down into a swim called the Dead Man's. Someone jumped in there and pushed them out. At 5:30 this morning, had a take on that left rod in the bay that I always predicted would happen. The time I got my torch on and got out there, the tip was bent round. The time I got to the rod, that swung back. So I still hit it and reeled it in. Nothing. I'm devastated. And when I looked, the clutch was pretty tight. I couldn't give no line, but I had to fish quite tight clutches because obviously the bay is really snaggy as well. I didn't want to get around any snags, but I just felt if I had just a little give there, I could have took a little line, that probably would have swam out and I had a better chance. So with that resistance of that clutch being tight, I'm assuming that's what pulled the hook. So I've left it an hour now, and I'm now going to go and get the bait boat and put it back out again. We're packing up today about 1 o'clock. I think he said he'd want to pack up, so obviously I've got to go back with my mate this afternoon. If I get the rod back out in the bay now and the fish are still about there and I can get that out quietly, there may be another chance before we go. But that's the update, and if I get anything else I'll be back on again. Fingers crossed. Also, what I wanted to do is show you a preview of the Rich Monkey Armory tackle box. Why I believe it's the best tackle box on the market and why it saves so much space and limit all your stuff down. Fantastic, but I'll do a review of that at a later date. That's it. I've just got a few bits left to pack away. What's still in the water? Got about 15 minutes before James come round and pick me up and load the car and head back. I'm still gutted about that fish this morning, but that's fishing, you know, we can't catch them all. And I'll be back to try again at some point in the future. The next session we've got booked is Coston. Really good lake, a lot of 20-30 pounders in there, a couple of 40 pounders. Getting big fish in there now, so we're doing that in April, and a few others the next month after that, May, June, a few places, unless I can get out again before that. Then hopefully my journey will continue. If you can like, subscribe and share, it'd be great. And that'll help me and watch more videos going forward. This session I would have liked to have done more, showing you with the bait boat, taking it to the spots and dropping it, but with my stuff being limited this session due to not driving and what we could get in the car, I couldn't really bring my proper stuff, so I was just a little bit bivvy bound. But next session I'll show you more, do a little video of the proper bait that I'm using, how I'm approaching it, and add a little more bits into the video, so I understand that this one might be a bit lethargic, me sitting in the bivvy. So yeah, thanks for watching anyway. Like I say, if you can like, subscribe and share, be fantastic, and I'll see you in the next video.